I remember I must have been about 7 years old when I first went to Blockbusters with my parents. There was so much to choose from, but I was only allowed to pick one game, so I had to make a great choice. And that's exactly what I did. Seeing the cover of this game, it was love at first sight. The game was Digimon Rumble Arena 2. Now, why was it that Digimon, out of all games, got me interested? It's very simple actually. I'm from the class of 98, so I was born into the great generation of anime, with One Piece, Digimon, Naruto, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Shaman King, and much more constantly running on television. Naturally, I was a sucker for all kinds of anime, just like most kids my age back then. So when I saw a Digimon game that allowed up to 4 friends to play with me, I had to get it. So, what is Digimon Rumble Arena 2? Well, simply put, it is a fighting game released in 2004 by Bandai Games for the Nintendo GameCube, PS2, and Xbox. It has similar style of gameplay as Super Smash Bros. Melee, except with a health meter. The game features characters from the first 4 seasons of the anime. Each one has their own special moves and digi-evolutions, as well as slightly varying normal attacks and taunts, in addition to many items and maps. Disclaimer: since the multiplayer is local and there isn't really a way to play it without getting headaches, I will mostly refer to the adventure mode and touch on the multiplayer aspects later on. The adventure mode starts by choosing your Digimon. Once that's done, you select your path. Depending on which way you go, it gets easier or more difficult. The first map is named Jungle Ruins, and the enemy is randomly chosen. Jungle Ruins is the easiest area as it's the only one in which you can only be killed by special power-ups and opponents. It also has many cheats, such as Max Digi-Evolution Egg underneath the bridge. A Digi-Evolution Egg instantly fills your Digimeter and lets you evolve to the next stage of Digi-Evolution. This is a great introduction to the game. It's fairly simple and introduces you to the gameplay mechanics. There aren't that many, so I will quickly go over them. Up B, down B, neutral B, a grab, a special attack, and normal attacks. Next up is Rubber Tree Falls. Rubber Tree Falls is a forest setting with a waterfall and palm trees. The trees bounce you high and you must stay on the rocks or trees, otherwise you are in danger of being knocked out. It also adds another player to the challenge, which makes it significantly harder since they are both against you, even though they do accidentally knock each other out. Danger Gulch is a Wild West setting with exploding barrels and cards. Those barrels can be thrown, thus asking the player to use its environment to one's advantage. This is a major theme in all the maps besides the first. Lava Lake has battlers fighting on platforms with a cage over a river of lava which rises and falls slowly. Pier 47 has the characters fighting on a pier with moving crates which can knock out a character caught between them and the edges of the screen. Steamworks is an oil rig in water with the possibility of knocking out a character who falls in. The stage includes flames and steam which work to this effect. The cannery is a factory with moving platforms. If you fall into the tube, you will be spit out as a can. Twisted Toy Town is constantly moving side to side. Combatants fight on cookie platforms which crumble away and are shot by a fire-breathing duck or a wind-up frog firing explosive fish. Unlockable levels. Ice Palace is a fight on frozen, slippery platforms with icicles which fall to inflict damage. It is unlocked during a boss battle. Chaos Wasteland is a flight on a hexagonal platform high over an endless vortex inside the D-Reaper. The platforms have a variety of effects: falling down to the vortex, spewing fire, freezing, moving up and down, and reversing their gravity causing you to float. It is also unlocked during a boss battle. Items. The items in this game can give you a tremendous advantage, but they also can punish you depending on what that power-up is. Items are such as health, the most common pickup in the game. Getting these pickups will hear the sound ba. Health up, recovers the life gauge up. Digi Orb up, the Digi Orb gauge will fill up. Invincibility, makes your Digimon invincible. Fire up, your Digimon gets on fire without being harmed. Extra life, your Digimon gets an extra life. Mystery item, an item with a question mark symbol, it has a random effect. Summon Phantom. Phantom will appear in at least 1 minute. It swings its weapon to KO Digimons on the field. Lightning Strike. Thunder Strike will attack randomly. Sleepy Time. All of the opponents will sleep except for the taker of the item. Digi Evolve everyone. All Digimon Digivolve unless they are already maxed out. Digi Nuke. The rarest and the shortest lived item. Enemies will give Digi-Orbs except at the one who took the item. Piñata Party. Any Digimon will turn into a piñata. The Digimon's level does not matter. Minigames. Crazy Chase. Be the first one to touch Columon 20 times. Keep away. Try to be the first one to get 20 points by keeping the Spirit Egg from the opponents. Digi Race. The goal is to Digivolve and use the Digimon special attack 3 times to win. Poison. Adds a poison status which drains the holder's health. It can be given to others. Little versus Big. To get a Digi-Evolution, one has to beat the one with it. Now, at this point, you might have realized that this game is very close to Smash Bros. That's because it is. But unlike Smash, it is very forgiving and beginners friendly. There are a ton of ways to gain an advantage by either utilizing the map, the items, or just Digi-Evolution. Those aspects of the game function as handicaps, so players of different skill level can compete against each other. Unlike in Smash, where the best player usually wins and does not rely on luck. On top of that, there are straight up boss characters who have a natural advantage to non-boss Digimons, since they are already on their mega level to begin with. So giving a boss Digimon to your friend with no skill will make the game much more fun and challenging for the both of you. Final thoughts. The bad. First, the game runs on 30 FPS, but honestly, it feels like 15. This leads to a clunky fighting experience. I would excuse this since it was released in 2004, but Smash Bros came out in 2001 and it had a whopping 60 FPS. So that excuse is not that excusable at all. This is the first major issue. The second major issue revolves around the adventure mode. Simply put, once you lock in the character you want to play the story with, you cannot change it without restarting the story and losing all your progress. Worse yet, you can't even stop mid-session and take a break, because once you close the game, your progress will purposely not be saved, because they want you to keep playing and finish the game. This leads to more replays to end the adventure mode than necessary. You're basically forced to play a minimum of 6 maps, that is if you first try them. It usually takes around 12, and repeating the same 12 level over and over just because you stopped playing or wanted to change Digimon is an unjust way of treating the player base. With that being said, this game has 2 major but fixable flaws. Nowadays it would be easy to get 60 FPS up and running, and making the story less predatory is also simple. If those flaws are fixed, and we hopefully but unlikely would get a Digimon Rumble Arena 3, I would honestly think this would be a great alternative to Smash. So to my beginning question, is this game just a Smash clone? Well, yes and no. Smash, you could say, invented the genre. So by logic, every game with similar game style is a Smash clone. But then you could argue that this is just how the industry works, and it's not about originality but about fun. Most games that are industry leaders nowadays are copies of older games, but that doesn't stop the game from being fun. They copy the main concept and add their own flavor. Proof for that is the most popular MOBA, League of Legends. It is a copy of a copy, since League came from Dota, which came from Warcraft. The gaming industry does not care about copies. It only asks the player one question: are you entertained? And the answer to this question is yes. Digimon Rumble Arena 2 is a fun game with lots of potential, like a diamond that has yet to be sharpened to perfection. 7 out of 10, great game.